Hi there, traders. Welcome to Currency Watch. Another day, another jump in the dollar. It's above the 101, 150 level, pushing up to uncharted territories here. We have the pair up for, I think, 8 days in a row, which hasn't happened in next to forever, or 9 days in a row, I think, in 14 years. And as I've been saying, this is highly unusual. I've been looking for a pullback over and over, and we have not been able to get it. But let's take a look at the effect that this push higher has had on the Euro USD. You can see that the Euro USD with the dollar strength has broke below the 106.60 level there where I had the stacker set up, and this push below would signal a stacker trade. I'm not taking it. I'm not chasing at this point. The pair is overdue for a pullback. But if you were so inclined to do that, we would see the high here is at 107.40. The low is at 106. Let's say 30. Let's say 60 pips. So I'd put the stuff. If you wanted to, I'd put an order in there at 106.90 with the stop above today's high, looking for a continued push lower. And the question that the area you would look for would be about the 104 level, which is the April or March lows in 2015. I mean, all in all, if we were following stacker setups, we could have been in this trade all the way from up here around the 108.10 level, and we would have actually had a second entry here, second entry on the pullback from yesterday, pullback today, hitting the midpoint of yesterday's range. And but we are, as I said, this is the first time that we've seen a straight line pull up like this in 14 years, so this is a highly unusual situation. But we could see a continued push lower, and we could even see a push towards parity in the longer term, because it looks like normalization could be in the cards for interest rates in the U.S., and Europe still has its own issues of its own. In early December, a few countries are voting to, I believe, put referendums on where they could actually have a choice if they want to leave the euro zone or not. So we could see a little bit of fireworks in the short term. Let's go through the other trades I currently have on the books. The euro JPY. We have a break of this pair. Of their range, and now and we also have a cross of the 200 in the 50 and 10-day moving average. I'm looking for a push up to the 200-day moving average. As long as the pair stays above this 116.35 level, I'm pretty comfortable with this pair. Pretty comfortable with this trade. I have a rather large stop loss at 116.05 because this cross. That's just the way the setup works. This cross needs a little bit of room to breathe because we couldn't find volatility in spurts, and I didn't want to be excuse me, didn't want to be closed out on just a downdraft based on some economic news. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other setup I have in the Great Britain USD. We're right about where I bought into this pair, looking for a push higher. The pound has been managed to hold its ground, even though the dollar has been losing ground. As long as the cross remains above the 123.50 level, I still favor a push towards the 50-day moving average and resistance around 126.70, looking for a push all the way up to 128. This is a pure stacker trade. Just looked for the 50 fib of this push higher and jumped into that trade right there. Let's go through the other majors. Aussie USD pushed down lower again after it had poor jobs report yesterday, and now is testing the bottom of the resistance channel. I do not know why that's not going away. Is now testing the bottom of its it's now testing support. There we go, at 0.7414. What I'll be looking for in this cross right here, right now, is a pullback. I feel like that's all I've been looking for the last few weeks, is a pullback, but a pullback to the 200-day moving average to get short and continue to push lower. If we break below this level, I could just jump in and look for a ride lower. No, there's no way I would do that. I'm looking for a pullback to the 200-day moving average or the 10-day moving average, and that is where I would jump in and look to ride this pair lower. New Zealand USD, this cross has broken lower also, and you can see it's sitting just below the 200-day moving average, but you can also say there's definitely price support right there, and what we would see here is just like the Aussie USD. I feel uncomfortable just jumping in right there. I would like to see a pullback because it's gone a little too far, a little too fast to the 10-day moving average, or just consolidation right here at the 200, and then look for a continued push lower. Or if we break below this trend line, there's no questions asked. We'll just jump in and go for a push down on that pair. The USD CAD has been a little bit tricky. I went long this pair at 134.34, and I was up 60, 70, 80 pips. I'm not really sure. Moved to break even, and we promptly came down and closed it out. Now we're back up towards the 135 level. This is basically trading off any news any news coming out regarding oil. There is a agreement in the works between Russia and OPEC and a few non-OPEC countries to try to decrease the output of oil around the world to raise prices. They could make any agreements they want, but I find it very unlikely that it would be held up in the long run. But in the short term, it is having its effect on oil prices, so you have to keep your eye out on that with the CAD. If anybody was so inclined, you could go long the CAD again, just with stops below this low at 134, but I'm not going to at this moment. Neither you see the break of this range or a pullback to the 50-day moving average. Yen keeps pushing higher. Yesterday, we had the Bank of Japan come out. They had a bond issue and couldn't find any buyers, but then they came out and actually stated that they could. I think they have the ability to buy fixed rate bonds, and basically Japan is going to own just about everything soon. They're already buying equities, they're buying bonds, they're doing anything to get out of an inflation spiral and deflation spiral, excuse me, and nothing seems to be working. So I mean, that is what we're in the U.S. and so forth so grossly trying to stay out of. But what we'll have to watch for this pair right now is can't chase. Look for a pullback towards the 107.40 or the 10-day moving average, and that's where I would like to jump in, not chasing here. Gold had a nice run today. Dust pushed up very nicely, up $5 in a matter of about 30 minutes. But now we just have some consolidation. Still looking for a pullback to the 1241 level in the longer term. Great Britain JPY looking for a pullback to the 10-day moving average. Can't chase right here, but it is definitely a firm break. Get a pullback to the 10-day moving average around 133.50 right now. Looking for a move all the way up to 200 around 144. All right, that's it, everybody. Have a great day trading, and I'll talk to you soon.